Hi, today we're starting the first chapter of the second book. This book is called Elmer and the Dragon. And there's a picture on the front. Remember, this is a story by Ruth Gannett. And it's her second book in a series about Elmer Elevator and the Dragon. There is another map inside this book, which is kind of fun. This island on this side is called Feather Island. And the island on this side is not really an island, but this big sandbar that's on the outskirts or a little ways away. And actually is connected by a little bit of sand going across. So that's the island of Feather Island. Again, this is a chapter book, and so these are the chapters, the table of contents with the chapters. The first chapter is Tangerina, and I think they're going to go back and connect you with the first book so that you can kind of remember what happened at the very end. So, into the evening sky flew Elmer Elevator aboard the gentle baby dragon. They were leaving Wild Island behind forever. Elmer, who was 9 years old, had just rescued the dragon from the ferocious animals who lived on the island. An old alley cat told him how the dragon had been hurt when he fell from a cloud onto the island, and how the wild animals on the island had made him their miserable prisoner. Elmer, feeling sorry for the dragon, and also hoping to fly on his back, had set off to rescue the dragon. Now the dragon is free and happy and so grateful. Elmer, you were wonderful to come all the way to Wild Island to rescue me. I'll never be able to thank you enough. Oh, that's all right, said Elmer. Flying on your back makes all my troubles worthwhile. And there's a picture of Elmer flying on the baby dragon's back. Then I'll take you on a trip. Where should we go? Said the dragon. Everywhere, said Elmer. The trouble is that I ran away 10 days ago to rescue you. And I guess, I ought to be getting home, he said. Well, at least I could fly you there, said the dragon. That would be swell, said Elmer, peering over the dragon's side. Let's rest tonight down there on the island of Tangerina, and we can start our trip home tomorrow. Fine, said the dragon, swooping down and landing beneath a tree on the beach of Tangerina. Do you remember about what kind of trees are on the beach of Tangerina? Elmer slid down and took off his knapsack. You are beautiful, he said, admiring the dragon's blue and yellow stripes, his red horn and red eyes, his great long tail, and especially his gold-colored wings shining in the moonlight. It's very kind of you to say so, said the dragon, suddenly feeling hungry. What's there to eat around here? Well, there's tangerines all over the place, said Elmer, picking one and peeling it for the dragon. Pew, pew, pew! That's terrible! Terrible taste, said the dragon. He was kind of choking and spitting out the tangerine as hard as he could. What do dragons eat? Asked Elmer. Well, I especially like skunk cabbage, and I like ostrich ferns. They had them on Wild Island. But I don't see any here, said the dragon, looking around. He was anxious and had an empty stomach. Maybe you'd like tangerine peels, suggested Elmer. The dragon closed his eyes and carefully bit off a tiny piece of a tangerine peel. Then he jumped up and down. These are delicious, he said. So Elmer and the dragon ate 19 tangerines. Elmer ate the insides and the dragon the outside. A chilly wind blew along the beach, and the dragon curled his great long tail around the boy to keep him warm. Good night, said Elmer, resting his head on his knapsack. I can't wait for my trip home tomorrow. The next morning, as the sun edged over the horizon, the dragon rubbed his eyes, stretched his wings, and yawned. My, but it's good to be so free again, he said. By the way, Elmer, where do you live? Well, I live in Nevergreen City. It's next to Evergreen Park on the coast of Porpoiscornia, mumbled Elmer, who was already awake and eating tangerines. I hope you know how to get there, said the dragon. Don't you? Said Elmer. No, don't you? Asked the dragon. No, said Elmer. You see, I came here in the bottom of a boat, and I couldn't see where I was going. The seagulls will know, said the dragon. There's Elmer. Little picture of him dancing around. The seagulls will know, said the dragon. They follow the ships out to sea and back again. I'll go ask one, said Elmer, suddenly remembering that it would be nice to be home for his father's birthday. He walked down to the water where a very old seagull was blinking in the morning sun. Excuse me, said Elmer, but have you ever heard of Nevergreen City? Of course, croaked the very old gull. I used to live there before I followed a ship to Tangerina, but I wouldn't dream of going back there now. Well, that's very interesting, said Elmer, but do you know how to go there if you would want to go there? How would you go? Certainly, answered the old gull, pointing his wing in that direction. Just fly exactly that direction until you get there, said the seagull. Elmer took out his compass and found that direction was northwest. Is it very far? Said Elmer. Far? Well, I should say so, said the seagull. Well, thanks a lot, said Elmer. So there's Elmer talking to the seagull. I'm kind of worried, said the dragon. Suppose we never find your house, where you live. We'll find it all right, said Elmer, who was a tiny bit worried himself. The dragon ran along the beach, warming up his wings, while Elmer packed 69 tangerines, as many as his knapsack would hold. Besides the tangerines, he had in his knapsack all sorts of things left over from the rescue, including, so let's turn our thing to see if we have the right amount. We have to change the tangerines now back to 69. So these were the tangerines. 69, and these are our little tangerines. Okay, so there's 69 tangerines. Maybe move it a little closer. And it says that there were 7 lollipops left over. Is that what we got? Let's see. Yep, 7 pink lollipops right here. We're going to save those for an emergency, said Elmer. Half a pack of rubber bands over here, yep. 3 sticks of chewing gum are left. So let's put 3 sticks. 3 sticks of the gum are left. And what else was left? A very good pocket knife. And my black rubber boots, so that he still has them even though he's worn them. Are you ready? Are you ready? Asked Elmer. Jump on, said the dragon. Elmer clambered onto the dragon's back and took one last look of Tangerina and the blue and white waves that were skipping in from the cold ocean onto the sandy beach. And they're off. Hopefully they're on their way home. I think there's more to this story, though. So you'll have to tune in tomorrow night to hear chapter 2 of Elmer and the Dragon. Bye-bye.